You're in your 20s, or maybe you just came out of them, and somewhere along the way, nobody sat you down and told you the truth. Nobody warned you that this decade, the one that's supposed to be about freedom, possibility, figuring yourself out, is quietly one of the most financially dangerous periods of your entire life. Not because of one big mistake, not because of one catastrophic decision, because of 100 small ones that all feel completely reasonable at the time. The brunch, the trip, the apartment upgrade, the car that was slightly out of budget, but you made it work. The subscriptions, the going out, the keeping up, the feeling that you have time, that your 30s are when the serious stuff starts, and right now, you're just living. That feeling is the trap. And by the time most people recognize it, they're staring at 30 with nothing built, wondering where an entire decade of earnings went, wondering why they feel so far behind, wondering if they'll ever actually catch up. Today, we're going to talk about exactly what the 20s trap is, why it catches almost everyone, and what you need to do right now to make sure it doesn't steal your financial future before you even realize it's gone. Here's the first thing nobody tells you about your 20s. Time is not on your side the way you think it is. Everyone says the opposite. You're young. You have decades ahead of you. Start investing later. It'll be fine. Enjoy life now. There's plenty of time to be responsible. And on the surface, that sounds reasonable, even kind. But here's what that advice is actually costing you. The money you don't invest at 22 isn't just money you don't have at 22. It's the compounding that never starts. It's the growth that never happens. It's the version of that money at 45 or 55 or 65 that simply doesn't exist because you waited. Let's make this real. If you invest $200 a month starting at 22, by the time you're 62, assuming a modest average annual return, you could be looking at close to $600,000. That same $200 a month starting at 32 gets you roughly half that. Same money, same discipline. 10 years later, half the result. Nobody shows you that math in your 20s. Nobody frames the decision to wait as the enormously expensive choice that it actually is. They just tell you there's time, and you believe them, because it feels true, because 62 feels like another lifetime from where you're standing now. But compounding doesn't care how young you feel. It only cares when you start. Here's the second thing the 20s do to almost everyone. Your income starts growing, and your lifestyle grows faster. Your first real job pays you more than you've ever earned, so you upgrade. Slightly better apartment, a real couch instead of the one from a garage sale, eating out more because you can. It feels like progress. It feels like what earning more is supposed to feel like. Then you get a raise, and the lifestyle upgrades again, quietly, naturally, almost automatically. This is called lifestyle acceleration, and your 20s are where it begins. And the reason it's so dangerous in this decade specifically is because the habits you build now become the baseline you spend the rest of your life defending. If you get used to spending everything you earn at 24, you will spend everything you earn at 34 and at 44. Not because you're irresponsible, because that pattern becomes your normal, and normal is incredibly hard to walk back. The people who build real wealth in their 30s and 40s are almost always the ones who resisted lifestyle acceleration in their 20s. Not completely, not by living like monks, but by making a conscious decision that every time their income went up, their savings rate went up first. That one habit, practiced consistently through your 20s, is worth more than any investment strategy you'll ever learn. There is something uniquely dangerous about being in your 20s right now that didn't exist for previous generations. You are watching everyone else's financial highlight reel in real time, every day, on every platform. Someone your age just bought a car. Someone else is posting from a trip to Bali. Another person just moved into an apartment that looks like it belongs in a magazine. And your brain, without you even consciously deciding it, starts measuring your life against theirs. And then you spend to close the gap. Not because you planned to, not because you sat down and decided this was a good financial move, but because the pressure is constant and invisible and incredibly effective. This is the comparison economy, and it is one of the most powerful wealth destroyers of this generation. Here's the truth about those highlight reels. You don't see the credit card balance behind the trip. You don't see the lease payment on the car. You don't see the financial anxiety behind the curated apartment. You just see the image. And you compete with an illusion. Every dollar you spend to keep up with a life that isn't even real is a dollar that will never compound for you. Never grow. Never become the financial security that actually changes your life. The 20s trap is partly built from comparison. Recognizing that is the first step to escaping it. Your 20s are also when most people take on the debt that follows them for years: student loans, car loans, credit cards that started small and grew quietly, buy now pay later that felt harmless in the moment, and for many people, a mortgage or the beginning of one that stretches them further than they should have gone. None of these feel catastrophic on their own. Each one has a monthly payment that seems manageable, but together they create a financial ceiling that is extraordinarily hard to break through. When 40% or 50% of your monthly income is committed to debt payments before you even start living your life, there is nothing left to build with. You are working to maintain the past instead of building the future, and every month that continues is a month where compounding works against you instead of for you. The 20s are the decade where debt feels most normal. Most of your friends have it. The system almost encourages it, and the long-term cost of carrying it is invisible right up until it isn't. Getting aggressive about debt in your 20s, even when it feels unnecessary, even when everyone around you seems comfortable carrying theirs, is one of the highest return financial decisions you will ever make. Here is exactly what to do differently, starting now. Step 1. Calculate your compounding gap. Go online and find a compound interest calculator. Put in your age, put in a realistic monthly investment amount, even $100 or $200. See what it becomes by retirement if you start today versus if you start 5 years from now. Do not skip this step. Seeing that number, the actual cost of waiting, is the most powerful motivator you will ever encounter. Make it real. Step 2. Set your savings rate before you set your budget. Most people budget first and save whatever's left. Flip it. Decide your savings rate first, even if it's just 10% of your income, and automate that transfer the day your paycheck arrives. Then build your lifestyle around what remains. This one reversal is the foundation of every financially successful person you will ever meet. Step 3. Treat debt like the emergency it is. If you are carrying high-interest debt right now, credit cards, personal loans, anything above 10%, treat it with the same urgency you would treat any other crisis, because that's what it is, a slow-moving financial crisis that is quietly costing you your future. Make minimum payments on everything else. Put every spare dollar toward the highest interest debt first, then move to the next. This is not forever, but it is urgent. Step 4. Build your financial identity now. Your 20s are when your relationship with money gets established. The habits you build now, how you think about spending, saving, investing, debt, will follow you for decades. This is the best time to build the identity of someone who is intentional with money. Not perfect, not extreme, just intentional. Because identity is more powerful than discipline. You don't have to force yourself to do something that feels like who you are. Step 5. Stop competing and start compounding. Every time you feel the pull to spend in order to keep up, with a friend, with social media, with the version of your 20s you think you're supposed to be living, ask one question. Is this building my future or just performing it? You don't have to say no to everything, but you do have to start making the distinction. Because every dollar that goes toward compounding instead of competing is a dollar that multiplies quietly in the background while you sleep. Here's what I want you to understand. The 20s trap isn't about being irresponsible. It isn't about being bad with money. It's about being handed a decade full of firsts. First real income, first real freedom, first real pressure to look like you have it together, with absolutely no instruction on how to navigate it financially. Nobody taught you this. The school didn't. Your first employer didn't. Social media certainly didn't. And so you did what felt natural, what felt normal, what everyone around you was doing. But normal in your 20s leads to struggling in your 40s, and you deserve better than that. The people who come out of their 20s with real financial momentum aren't the ones who earned the most. They're the ones who decided, early enough, that their future mattered more than their image, that compounding mattered more than keeping up, that building something real mattered more than looking like they already had it. That decision is available to you, right now, regardless of how much of your 20s have already passed. The 20s trap is real, and it catches almost everyone. But it doesn't have to catch you. You now know what it looks like. The illusion of time, the lifestyle acceleration, the comparison economy, the debt that quietly builds a ceiling over your financial life. And you know exactly what to do differently. Starting this week, not someday, not when you feel more ready. The version of you at 40 is being built right now. By the decisions you make this month, this week, today. That version can look back on this moment as the turning point, the day you stopped drifting through your 20s financially and started building something that actually lasts. The trap is real, but so is the way out. Anna Investment is here every step of the way.